Good morning and welcome to the Soulful Illumination Show. I am your host, the enchanted Nicole Borghi, and I am here to share with you and everybody listening from around the world the known universe, those traveling across space, time through dimensional portals, and other realms to the Soulful Illumination Show. We're here about spiritual ascension and spreading the word through energetic frequencies, a show about connecting to the collective consciousness through heart awakening. Allow the energy vibrations to send you into spiritual ascension. We're coming at you from an unknown bunker near Area 51 in fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada. And I am Nicole Borghi. I am a crystal Reiki master, a psychic medium, and a soulful coach. Go ahead, check my website out, illuminatevegas.com, and book a discovery call. And we can talk about healing your soul and what it means to open your heart and awaken to this magical world. We're in a bit of a crazy, chaotic time right now, and whatever side of the plate you're on, whatever side of the planet or the cosmos you're on, we need to understand what this vibrational frequency means, right? And that's what I'm here to share. So if you book a discovery call, I'll spend some time with you and we'll get together and we'll craft a plan to help you understand how to kind of navigate through what these energies are right now and navigate what is you, bringing you back to your true self. So as every week, I'd love to shout out to my beautiful clients. They know who they are. The clients that I have a pleasure working with, whether it's virtual or whether it's one-on-one, person to person. And that's what I do is I just want to say thank you, guys, for working with me. And thank you for having the strength and the courage to book a soulful coaching program and rise up to the occasion. This is the time. If you ride these vibes, you too will soar. Don't forget, guys, like, subscribe, join the tribe. Visit my page, illuminatevegas.com. Support the show. I bring the show here for you because I want to share wonderful guests that want to illuminate your soul and have conscious conversation wherever they're coming from, right? We all have this wonderful connection, and that's what this show is about. So let's do a little bit of housekeeping here. I got for you Cellcore. And what Cellcore does is this is biomolecular oxygen. And it helps you what? Helps you breathe. It helps you breathe in that is light and love. And it helps you breathe so your lungs open, so you get that oxygen in your blood, that flow. And if you want to do a cellular change at the cellular level, you need to have great herbs that are natural and good for your body. We all love that stuff that is toxic free and hasn't had any additives in it. We can use a little bit more oxygen so we can stay awake and we can feel that love within our hearts. That's what Cellcore is about. Also, doTERRA, essential oils, they're all natural and they are potent. They're 27 times more potent than just drinking one cup of tea if you were drinking peppermint, right? Peppermint also opens your nostrils. It opens your throat chakra. It helps you take in more of that oxygen. It helps open up your nasal passages in times like this where, maybe you're outside or if you've got a mask on and you're kind of out doing your thing. You want to put back in the supplements that you're depleting as you're going through the day. Also, we're going to go into a little bit today. What are we going to do? We're going to do a little bit of an energy reading as I bring you each week. And the energies of this week, what are the energies of this week? What are the energies of today? What has come in for me? Well, I did a little bit of drumming meditation before the show, and my guides connected with me, and they are always around me. and they are always around you. You just have to call them and say, hey, guys, come on down. Come on down, open up, help me see what I need to see. I am here. I am open. I am ready to receive your guidance. That's what our guides are here for. And they tuned me in to some readings today. What do we have? We have first the card that I pulled today is Dragon card. It's Source Dragon, and it attunes you to the infinite. That's what the energies are about right now, is raising your consciousness. You raise your vibration, and you truly raise your consciousness when you're out of victim and survivor mode. You're out of the martyr mode and you're more into the creation mode, and you're allowing those energies to come through you. You're channeling that energy. You're working with the energy and the energetic changes right now. It's not when we're in that angry behavior and we're trying to get everybody to hear us no matter what we say. We want to open our throat chakra in a loving manner and speak in a language and articulate in a way that others can hear us. That is most important. And that is definitely a lesson I had to learn before I started doing a show, before I started doing videos, teaching classes, and definitely speaking. It is important for you to recognize the love language of you and of others, because we can shout and yell and scream all day, get on our bullhorn and try to force it down people what we need for them to understand. But if we don't speak in a proper way that they understand, they'll never hear us, right? And so we want to rise up to the occasion and share the beautiful knowledge we have when we get our downloads from our spirit guides or a meditation or doing our prayers, right? There's things that we want to share, and how do other people listen, and how are they going to receive and hear you? They can always turn off the TV. That's fine too. But hey, you know what? It's my show, so I get to talk a little bit more. Be still in the silence. Magic can happen. Be in the moment. Enjoy right now. And be in presence. Be right now. Be the master of you and enjoy your family, your life. Those of you who are working, those of you who are working from home, understand what does it mean right now for you at a spiritual level. Also, the rune stones today are about, it's Fehu, and that is about wealth and fulfillment. I'm getting my paper over here. I had it a little bit shuffled around because I was doing things. So Fehu is also about loss on the other end. So what, and disappointment. We are disappointed when we lose things. So we want to rise up to the occasion and receive our wealth and our harvest and our fulfillment. How do we receive that? We become aligned. We become as one, male and female, left, right, black, white. We have to understand that that's how we move forward and we ascend. Also, the next one that I pulled is algies or algies, however you want to say that, algies. You want to really, when you're talking about the runes, you really want to get the crux from the root of your body and bring that forward, because these stones are meant to be chanted and shared. So you'd say Fehu or algies, and you want to really bring that strong energy in. It is kind of a warrior vibration, a strong vibration. And you want to recognize that also. The third one that I pulled is Lagus, and Lagus is emotion. It's also your psychic ability and your feminine. What does that have to do with emotion? Well, feminine is also a water. Lagus is a water sign. It's feminine. And so that can mean the tides. So imagine the ocean. Sometimes the tide is low and slow, and sometimes it's raging like a great tsunami. And where are you at with your emotions? Are you loving yourself so you can love others and share beautiful, healthy emotions and be in perfect balance? And that's how, when your energies are aligned, when your energies are connected and in a great balance, and that's what Reiki brings, and we'll talk a little bit about that more with our guest today, is when your energies are aligned and you're using a connected energy, maybe you're channeling a Reiki energy, and what happens is you get a greater balance. And as your balance is kind of perfected, in a sense, we're always working towards perfection. We are not perfect, but we are progressing in a prosperous manner towards that progression. And we want to make sure that as we align, we're connected to what our energies are. What do we think and feel? And what happens is as we do that, we open up our third eye and our intuition. And if we are in a loving, balanced presence, we can see, feel, and use our six senses, right? Our sixth sense. How does it taste when we are visioning things? How does it feel when we are visioning things? What do we hear, right? Or what do we see as we're guided and we use our intuition? That's how we connect to our guides as well, when we have that faith and understanding that they are there for us at all times, God, source, and the creator. When you're able to do that in a loving manner, you will receive more of your intuitive guidance, and you are open and thankful for it. And that's how that works. Well, and last thing I'd like to look at today, because we're going to be talking with the Zoolinguist today and about animals. Of course, I got my favorite spirit animal on, and that is the owl. The owl spirit animal is emblematic of deep connection with wisdom and intuition, right? It's the knowledge. If you have an owl as a totem or spirit animal, you're likely to have the ability to see what's usually hidden to most. So you are awakened when your intuition is awakened. And when this spirit animal guides you, you can see true reality beyond illusion and deceit. So you'll see the truth of the matter. The owl offers, for those who have it as a personal totem, the inspiration and guidance necessary to deeply explore the unknown and the magic of life, right? So what is that? It is the capacity to see beyond deceit and of mask, right? And that is a symbolism of what we're seeing right now. What is the truth behind that? Is it the truth that you're being told and you're absorbing from outside, um, from outside, from other people or other sources, or is the truth that you know inside that this is true? So this is the reflection of the time that we're in now. Start to see what is true to you and separate from all the outside for just one moment. It's kind of like a pendulum. Is it a yes or is it a no? Feel into the truth. Truth is light energy. If it's untrue, it's a heavier energy, and you will kind of feel a little bit burdened by that. And what truth are you in? Are you rising high to the occasion? And is that the truth of the circumstances? And so you know and you believe that to be true. So today on the Soulful Illumination Show, I am going to welcome guest Jamie Lee. If you can unmute, for some reason I'm not able to unmute you. Perfect. And I'm going to bring you back over here and see if I can get you on the screen. Oh, isn't this fun? There we are. There you are. Welcome to the show, Zoolinguist Jamie Lee, coming at you live from what? Fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada area too, right?
Yes. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Awesome. I am so glad to speak with you because this is going to be interesting, right? I'm going to let you, Jamie, tell the audience what you do and what it's all about being a zoolinguist.
Okay. So zoolingualist really is someone who speaks to animals. And I do that through energy. I am not an animal communicator by any means, but animals use energy as a language. That they speak fluent energy with each other. That's how they communicate, among other ways. And when we learn to use energy, we can really communicate with them and we can learn from them. So it's a little bit different than a lot of the Reiki systems, what I'm practicing now. So I started, animals have always been who I am. I'm a lifelong animal lover. I am an animal advocate. I am a voice for animals. And I first discovered the healing power of animals, how they can really heal us, when I was just 13. So I was living in Rapid City, South Dakota with my family. And it was June 9th, 1972. It was just 15 days before my birthday. And there was a flash flood that hit the community that pretty much destroyed the community. It destroyed our home. Over 200 people died. Countless animals died. All of my pets died. And basically, my family was left with the clothes that we had on the night of the flood. And it was time to rebuild. So that was very traumatic for me, as you can imagine, being, I was 12, just getting ready to turn 13. And for my birthday, I got a little kitten. And that kitten gave me hope. And there was a reason to go on, and the healing began. Now, I made a lot of mistakes because we didn't deal with my family didn't talk about things. We didn't deal with problems. We didn't deal with all these issues. And so here I was, this kid, totally a mess. And I made a lot of mistakes growing up. I just put it right out there. I did a lot of things that brought me eventually to my knees. And which was good. As I look back now, I see all of this as a blessing. But it did bring me to my knees, and I had to start asking for help. And so I did. And, it was a slow process, just releasing, growing, looking at myself. And then I was working in law enforcement, and I was a videographer. So I did all kinds of things. I did PSAs, I was on TV, I went to crime scenes.
Jamie, I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm going to stop you right there because it looks like we lost a bit of a connection. So I'm going to start just one second, see if we can come back.
Come on, internet.
Let's see if it's coming back. Here we go. Okay. And let's see what we've got here. I'm just going to check and see
see where we're coming
up. See if we're coming up. It looks like we may be live again.
Okay.
And we are, my friend. Go, please share your story, because I think we lost maybe about a minute of it, but go back ahead. Please continue.
Okay. So, after I was brought to my knees after making all those mistakes, even though I couldn't articulate it, I knew that animals at least healed me, that there was a special one. I don't know if I was aware that they had this power for everyone. I'm sure I was still all about me. It's like, oh, they healed me. But then when I was working in law enforcement as a crime scene photographer, my friend, who also worked in law enforcement, she was divorced. I was divorced. She had 2 little children, and she was diagnosed with stage 4 ovarian cancer.
Wow.
And the doctors really didn't give her a very good chance. And I'm going to say right now, she's fine. She's still alive.
Oh, wow. Good.
Many years ago. So they were wrong. But they did tell her she had to go away for experimental therapy. That was her only hope. And of course, they used really strong drugs on her that she still deals with the consequences today. But they also used holistic measures. And they, of course, use nutrition, color light therapy, and Reiki.
Oh, wow. Awesome.
Yeah, which was really cool. So when she came back, I remember I had been staying with her children, and she came back and she's curled up on the couch, and, she's getting sick, and she's sicker than a dog. And she just looked at me and she said, "You have to learn Reiki." I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Now what do I have to do? And as we always say, when the student is ready, the teacher appears.
Yes.
And my first teacher appeared in a tire shop as I was having my winter tires put on. And we just struck up a conversation. And I found out she could teach Reiki.
Wow. So
that was the beginning of it. Now, I didn't embrace Reiki like a lot of people do. I tried it, and there was something missing, and I didn't know what it was. And I'd be like, I just can't do this. This just isn't working. So I would just like go about my business. And then Reiki would come and it would like, hey, tap me on the shoulder. And it'd be like, oh, well, this is a different teacher. Let me try it.
Mm-hmm.
And still something missing. Now I learned something from everyone. And I'm so grateful that I had this journey that I did. So I have studied from, I don't know how many different teachers, taken 1 and 2 from, like 3 different teachers, and each teacher brings their own perspective. So I learned things, but there was still something that just, it wasn't right. For me, it just wasn't right.
Right.
And then I had heard of Kathleen Prasad. She has developed the Let Animals Lead method of animal Reiki. At the time, she wasn't calling it that. And she did this after thousands and thousands and thousands of hours of 20 years of working just with animals and finding out what they preferred and letting them lead her.
Okay.
And so I knew of her, excuse me, but I didn't really follow her. And one day on Facebook, I saw a post of hers. And it said that, we've been given grants and I'm making teachers in my method. And I'd already mastered, twice from 2 different people. But when I read that, it was that moment and everything went, and I went, that's my scholarship.
Right.
So I applied, I was accepted. I went out to California. I trained for 4 days at this beautiful animal sanctuary. I had some amazing experiences and the animals really spoke to me.
Was that did that energy change and your feeling change because it was the animals that you needed to unite you to be able to connect more to that energetic frequency, or was it more your journey?
I think it was a combination of both, because the animals really connected to me. So I'll just tell you, it was the last day of class. So we did intense meditation, and this was a very intensive course. So our last day, the 4th day, the last day there, I had one place where I was always going to. It was this field with a cottonwood tree and the cows were there and the pigs were there. And I was really drawn to that the whole time I was there. So I went back out there and I started doing this meditation. And all of a sudden I started getting flashes of animals, and it was the gorillas, the buffalo, the bears. And I had this intense grief. Animals that have, been treated so horribly by us, that are in danger because of humans.
Right.
And I was so sad and I was crying, and then I got angry and I had this rage building up in me. And so the animals that I'd been working with the whole time, man, they split. They're like, oh, okay, we don't want any part of this energy. So then I'm like, oh yeah. And then I was mad at myself because, I can't even do this now, And so I thought, I'm going to go somewhere else. So I walked over to a corral, and there was a horse there who I didn't know at the time, but he didn't come up to hardly anybody. He'd been through a lot of trauma, and he came up to me. And I was crying, and he didn't stay very long because my energy was really out of sorts. And then I thought, okay, you got to pull yourself together, and you can't be angry, and you got to just get together, because at the end of each meditation, we would go back as a group and discuss it. And I thought, I'm not going to go back and just cry and act like, just lose it in front of everybody. So I'm going to, toughen up, because my law enforcement background came in. Let's just toughen up, right?
I hear that exactly.
And so I sat down, my turn came, and I just totally lost it. And then we had one last meditation. And I'm like, okay, I'm not going outside. Here is a cat. I'm going to stay in the house, and I'm going to sit by this cat, and I think I'll be okay. But I was still really tired. And, this was just really emotional for me, that last meditation. So on this meditation, we were doing what we call the heart bridge. And we bring our energy into the heart, the universal energy into the heart. We open our heart, extend a bridge, and we invite the animal to step onto the bridge if they want.
Mm.
And the first animal that showed up was the lion. And I'm like, oh God, no, 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 I can't do this again. And then all I heard was, come with me now. And it was very firm. And the next thing I know, in my mind's eye, I see tall grasses that I can't see over. I see the lion's butt and his tail swishing. And so I just followed. I followed that tail. It's like,
Wow.
I don't know where he's taking me. And then we came to this clearing. And I got flashes of animals, and it was wild animals, tame animals, my animals that I lived with, animals that had passed, that had shared their life with me. And it was so quick. I couldn't even, hold on to it. It was just animal after animal coming. But there was a sense of relief in this circle.
Right.
So I knew something had happened to me when I left. I did not know what it was. I couldn't articulate it yet, that there was something really big that has occurred here.
Have you had a connection like that before at all? Any dreams or anything like that?
Yes. I when I was in law enforcement, I used to have dreams about crimes that would occur, and that type of thing. But this is the first time that the animals really came to me with a message like that.
Oh.
So what I discovered, just trying to figure this out after I got home, is that this grief and pain that I feel for the abuse of animals is kind of like a hurricane. So the hurricanes come in with the bands of storm, and they're destructive and they tear everything up. But when you get into the eye, it's peaceful.
Yes.
And even the pilots who fly into the eye say it's the most beautiful thing.
Right.
And the animals were telling me where I needed to go, into the eye. And I see that as going in to my true self.
Right.
And as I do that, I make the eye bigger, and the bands of the storm become smaller and smaller.
Exactly. And that's what, when you're connected truly to your energy,
Yes.
and you're able to decipher and understand your true abilities, kind of your magical powers, and you really tune into that intuition and the guidance that you have, and you're able to finally get on that path and understand how to work within yourself, and then how to work outside and bring that together and that connection to truly help people.
Yes, absolutely. And so, then everything made sense, and the let animals lead method felt right for me. And it's simple. I would say it's a meditative mindfulness practice where, through meditation, I become mindful. I go back to my true self. I live the lifestyle of Reiki. I become Reiki. It's not something I do anymore. It's something I become.
Exactly, because you're channeling that energy, and you're allowing that energy to flow through you and with you, and not because when as a practitioner, when I'm using Reiki and using the energy, if I don't channel when I first started, and we all pretty much go through that, we just get so exhausted because we're not connecting with that major channeling energy, and the energy that is around us, and allowing it to flow properly through us. And we're just kind of using whatever we had in our battery, and it kind of it makes us more tired and more exhausted, and it kind of defeats the purpose, right?
Right. And, it's important to remember that, for me, it's like I am the universe and the universe is me.
I am. Yep.
I am. Yes. So important. And animals already live there, unless we've really messed them up, but they're already in this space, this present moment. They're already connected. So to them, it's so natural and they can help take us there. So even when, like I work with animals, it's totally different than with people. I mean, I love Reiki sessions. I love to lay down. I love hands-on, and all of that. But with animals, it's so different. And we have to be so respectful and we have to let them lead. So I don't focus on a problem. I know a lot of people call me and they'll say their animal is sick. And it's like, well, that's not what I'm going to focus on. I'm going to go. I am going to become Reiki, and I try to be Reiki all the time in my life. And I am just going to offer to make a heart to heart connection.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see them as perfect because they are.
Right.
Their divine light and my divine light, which is the same. We make a connection.
Yeah.
And I see their perfection and create a space that they can step into if they want, that they can relax and allow their body to heal itself. I don't call myself a healer because I'm really not. I'm holding space for
You are. You're almost like a tool, a conduit, right? Of that energetic connection, which energy is everywhere, and we're all energy. And it's just how we utilize it and allow it in our space. And animals are funny. They're funny in the fact that especially when you start to connect with Reiki, how they feel your energy.
Mm-hmm.
How when you walk somewhere and pets will come towards you in that connection. And I didn't grow up with a lot of animals, so it was a different experience for me. Growing up in the city with animals now coming towards me, or animals calming down, and it makes the owner of the animal a lot more at ease because they trust the animal before they trust anybody.
Yes.
Which is an awesome connection. And to see that, and it's the same with people see your energy, people feel your energy.
Yes,
they don't understand, your energy kind of enters the room first. And even if you don't think that you're utilizing that energetic connection, that's just part of you. And that's part of people's ability to connect with you. And I love how you say that just utilizing, allowing the animal to have that connection and be where it wants to be, because so many clients want you to go to one spot, but at an energetic spiritual level, that one spot is existing. It's the cause and effect of something else. What needs to truly be healed? Is it your mind, your soul, your heart? If it's your back, maybe it's you're not supported. And sometimes if it's your chest, maybe it's your heart, or your throat is itchy and bothering you. That, can be your throat chakra or your inability to speak. And that, I would believe, is the same with animals, is it not?
Yes. And, I have to ask people, when they say, can you heal them? It's like, well, what is healing to you?
Right.
Because animals have taught me that my expectations of healing is maybe not what healing really is.
Right.
And so that's something we have to watch too, is our own expectations of what we think should happen, how our animals should behave. And there's healing is so broad. Sometimes an animal will make their transition because it's their time.
Yeah.
And does that mean that you didn't heal? No, absolutely not.
Right.
Of course, I can assist them on this journey. And I learned that with one of my dogs, who was a rescue, who had spent 4 years in a shelter, and she was a mess when she came, and a lot of emotional issues as well as physical. And I remember the night she was making her transition, I laid with her because she was very uncomfortable. She would try to stand up and she couldn't. And so I just laid down with her and I did the Hara breath. And I was so surprised because she just settled right in.
Mm.
And we breathed together all night. Because if I got up to do something, go to the bathroom or whatever, she was uncomfortable again and restless. And so all night until the vet came the next morning, she found peace
Yeah.
through the breathing. It's like we were breathing as one. And I've always
That is
talked about
awesome.
that in my classes. And I know in my head, all life is connected. What I do to me, I'm doing to you, and vice versa. Right. But
Right.
I don't think I knew that in my heart
Ah,
until Tulip gave me that last lesson.
right.
And so now I totally understand. She didn't go anywhere. She just transformed. Uh,
Yes.
and, but I was able, yes, she healed. I was able to relieve her pain and her fear and comfort her. And what a gift to be present when someone you love is making their transition.
It is such a beautiful thing because I worked with hospice, and I worked with family because I worked with family members crossing over, and to be able to bless and give somebody the ability to be at ease before they're crossing is, it's breathtaking to be able to see when they're ready, and they're telling you, their soul is kind of acknowledging, hey, it's time.
Mhm.
It's time for me to go, and I'm ready, and thank you for being there. It is such a, it's a magical transformation to be part of that, crossing over, and to be able to give people that sense of, yeah, it's okay, I'm
Mhm.
ready, I'm ready. And sometimes families can't do that, whether
Right.
it's a pet or
Understand.
whether it's a person. They want to hold on so much to that what they believe to be that person in their awakening state and their human state here, and have that presence always, because they remember them that way. And it's a gift, not to take lightly, to be able to share with people that sense of crossing over, right?
Yes, absolutely. And in law enforcement, when I would go to crime scenes, it was violent. And
Yeah.
you could tell the energy. I mean, I could walk into a crime scene and I could feel the violence, I could feel the energy. It was different than if it was a car accident where someone had died. So the transition energy is real.
Yeah.
And with
Yeah.
Tulip, it was so beautiful. It was her time. I was there to assist her. We got to spend, these beautiful 8 hours together, just the two of us. Um, so such a difference.
Yeah, it's amazing to be that conduit, be that tool, be that a foundation for somebody to understand and connect it. I think for me, it's harder for me to explain to people in almost their human mind, when they're a soul, right? Having that human experience, and they don't quite understand that connection. It is becoming more and more aware. People are much more open to this and
Yeah.
more understanding. Having been in law enforcement myself, and explaining to friends uh, that you have intuition, right? You know what it is going on before you almost get there, and it's not just the training you have. It's the energy that you're reading before you go in there, and how to make yourself safe, or what you need to plan, or what's going to happen. And they have that ability to, yeah, be that strong person at that moment, just as we in Reiki have that ability to be that channel and that strength and that foundation in the moment. And it's kind of, it's parallel. I believe it's almost one and the same, in understanding, coming back to this energy connection after being in law enforcement, going, oh, okay, now I see and understand how we work. It gave me the ability to be stronger in it, and to have that connection. Once I went, oh, I'm doing this, I'm reading this scene ahead of time. And just as I kind of remote view for my clients before I work with them, I want to connect to their guides in their higher self and say, hey, where are you at? What is the, what is the how can I assist you? how can I be part in helping your life become better? And read that and download that before I go into them and get that knowledge ahead of time. We can't always do it because sometimes it's in the moment. Uh,
Right.
but as long as people are open to it, and when we go to Reiki classes, and there are people like you had spoken about your experience before, there are people who have a very open magical connection, and you can just feel their power and their strength. And there's people that are on a little bit of a low vibe, but hence the other thing is it's our connection. Is this really the person that can mesh with my soul? Is this the person that can help open me up? Is this the person that can assist me in crossing over and opening up the doors to that knowledge and that wisdom and that transformation and the alchemical healing? Is this that person? And we always have to ask, is this our truth? But truly, as I work with clients, when I do my coaching, it's really, are you ready? Are you feeling open enough to share this? And sometimes that's why it takes a few times. I've done Reiki, I've done crystal Reiki, and I've done other healing modalities. And just as a child, whatever connection I had at the moment, I, it's really aligning yourself with, am I ready to progress to that ascension and be at that point and be open to that, more or less.
Mhm. And we all have our journeys.
Yeah.
And everything that happens to us on our journey is for a reason. If we can just look at it and realize, look for the gifts,
Yeah.
and I always try to do that no matter how it may come wrapped. It may be in the ugliest wrapping paper, and some of these gifts I never want to get again. I can tell you that. But there's a gift inside.
Right.
And we just have to open up, look for it, and allow. And that's where I think, I have just be at this point right now in my life is I'm allowing.
Yeah.
And I used to think I was allowing, but I don't know if sometimes I was, and sometimes I really wasn't. But now it's just time to allow, to trust the bright light that is inside of me, and allow life to happen, because no matter what happens, all will be well.
Absolutely. And just be present, be
Yes.
in the moment, the
Yes.
I am, the becoming. You can't become unless you are. And so you are right now, you are here, you are present in this moment, and enjoy that.
Yes.
Sometimes we have to come back to that and try it again, and that's okay. But if you could just be in that second and be like, oh, wow, and just
Yes.
breathe, just
Yes.
let that oxygen come in, let it work with you, open up, and here I am.
And
Here,
and then we find ourselves just living in gratitude when we're
yeah,
in the moment, and we just open up, allow life to happen. We find that we're grateful for everything.
yes,
And it's such a beautiful space to be in. And like I say, animals are there.
mm-hmm.
They have so much to teach us. Yes, I honestly think that I have seen miraculous things happen when I work with animals, true. But I still think that they heal me more than I do for them every time.
Yeah,
There is a lesson, there is a gift, there's that energy exchange, there's that heart to heart connection. And I walk away a better person because of it, with every connection I make with them.
absolutely. You're sharing their journey and their story and their wisdom.
Yes.
And not only does it give you the ability to be in gratitude and gracious, but they're in gratitude and grace. And when that happens, and it's so easy for animals to, just like little children, to
Yeah.
love and to be so thankful. And it's what reminds us simply, yes, thank you. Thank you for your help. Thank you for being here and sharing a smile, a love, or a hug, and being able to be gracious. And sometimes it's hard to learn that,
Yeah.
to be gracious when you think you're open and you're like, oh, yeah, I'm open, but don't come that much farther, right?
I'm not that open. Yeah.
I'm open, but I'm not. Maybe today, maybe not.
I'll feel
And
like it
testing,
today.
right?
Yes.
Right. And we always test that. And that's it's a safety, it's a security
Right.
mechanism. But it's okay when you're opening up and you're learning to have that heart awakening or come into Reiki and that healing modality. It's okay to have a few barriers, a little bit of a wall here and there, and just kind of moving it around. So where am I at today? How much do I want to allow into my
Mhm.
life? And it depends on our experiences and our circumstances.
Right.
If we want to be that vulnerable.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important that we work on ourselves and we follow the Reiki precepts and devote our life to living that way, because if we don't work on ourselves, we're absolutely no good to anybody else. I don't care what certificate you have or anything else. Um, we must work on ourselves. And that's really, really important. And animals will call us on it. If we
Yeah.
don't, if we're in a bad spot, they're walking away. It's like, oh, nope, got want nothing to do with you. They don't have any problem calling us on our stuff.
Right, right. Yeah, and they know who you are today, and they're mirroring you, your soul, and they react to your soul level. What how are you feeling? How are you doing? Are you sleeping? What's your energetic level? And that's a good kind of barometer measurement of
Oh,
really
yeah.
where you're at today, right?
Yes. And it's hard sometimes with clients because what the problem is with the animal. It's the person.
Yes.
And it's like, so you have to be delicate. And it's like, may I work on you for a little bit,
Right,
and
right.
when they see it, when I start working on the person and the animal just lays down by their feet, they're
Mhm.
like, wow, what happened?
It-
Well, you might have been a little tense, and they were picking up on that because they mirror what's going on with us, especially when we're
Huge.
in a relationship with our pets. Definitely they mirror that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And when you bring people home, they read
Yes.
that. People that come into your house or when you go to the dog park or, do they want to be around that person? How do they react to the person? That's a huge enlightenment moment, I guess I would say, because it's like, okay, maybe this person isn't the best to be around me.
Yes. And I think most pet owners are aware of that. I could be wrong because I just think this is so natural that everybody knows about it, right? Uh,
Hmm.
I had this chow one time and he was so sweet. And I would get a pizza and I'd give him the crust and he loved that. And he would drool. I mean, so here's this chow that, kind of scary looking anyway. And then he would be foaming at the mouth because he was so excited that he was going to get a little bit of pizza crust. And I would open the door and he was always friendly and he was really good. I worked really hard with him to socialize him. And one night, the pizza came and I opened the door and the guy was standing there and here's Taipan right there because he's all excited. He's, got the foam like he's rabbit or something, but he wasn't. He was excited about a pizza crust. And all of a sudden a switch just flipped and he started to growl at the guy.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, you need to stand right outside, put the pizza down, and here's your money. Put the pizza on the table outside. Goodbye. And he did because he's looking at this dog, but I was looking at it like something was not right with the guy, whether it
Yeah.
was, he meant harm or whether he was just out of sorts. But for him to alert me like that,
Yeah.
it's like, nope, you just don't even come in the house.
Absolutely. See, and that's a good thing to listen to that.
Absolutely.
Listen to if you're not listening to your instincts, maybe you can listen to the pets.
Yes.
Sometimes people are more apt to deny their own instincts and listen to a pet or maybe another person. And
Yes.
and you've got to go with that. When I do sessions for clients, even if it's on Zoom, I don't mind the pets being there. And they get worried, oh, my pet's going to react, or my pet's going to, your pet's fine. Oh, my pet never acts like this. And I'm like, they're feeling your energy, and they want you to be in a better state, energetically at peace. And it makes a big difference. And it's funny the way they react. They're like, oh my gosh, wow, what is this? Right. You're like, hey, it's fine, because your pet is going to help kind of help that session, because your pet's allowing that energy to, and that your pet is going to help you find that healing point. And you're going to be able to read the pet later, and be more apt to really listen to what the pet is telling you. And I see people, they're not that connected sometimes to their pets as they like to think that they are, because they're not listening or checking out how that pet is reacting towards them. And then they can finally be in that balance, and that nice, perfect balance with that Reiki. And when they're open and start to feel, oh, okay, this is something good. This is something I like. This is maybe they won't do it for them, but they'll do it because their pet or their family is reacting different to them. And that's huge too, because you change at a cellular level, and people and your family and pets will change too. So do you rescue a lot of pets, or do you go to rescue places?
Yes, both. Both of the dogs I have now, I'm down to 2, and they are both rescues. And I volunteer my services. I work with rescues a lot, through offering Reiki to the animals, but also just, fundraising, helping them. I was also a fire inspector. I helped them with fire codes.
Oh, okay.
So, just any way I can be of service to them. I bring to the rescues. I'm on the board to Wendy's Ranch and Rescue, which is a potbelly pig rescue. But there's cows, there's horses, there's donkeys, there are emus, all kinds of animals out there. And I also when I do my classes, we spend one day in town learning the meditations and how to connect and, how to approach animals. And then the next day we go out there and we learn from the animals, because there is no better teacher than the animals. And people love that. They can make the connection. The animals are just wonderful. And I also am part of SARA, which is Shelter Animal Reiki Association. It is a nonprofit. It's made up of teachers who practice and practitioners who practice the Let Animals Lead method of animal Reiki. And we go into shelters, sanctuaries. We volunteer our time to teach. We volunteer our time with the animals. So as a teacher out at Wendy's, when I do a class, I donate a percentage of the class fees to the animal sanctuary.
That's awesome.
So it's always about giving back to our community. And that's what I love about this tribe of the Let Animal Lead people and SARA, which is what we call Shelter Animal Reiki Association. It's always about giving back to our animal community and how can we serve.
Right. Absolutely. And that's what's beautiful about this work, is that once you open up, you can share and love and give to others, and they'll bring back to you as well. How do people get a hold of you?
To get a hold of me, they can visit my website, which is animal-bonds.com, or they can email me, jamie@animal-bonds.com. I'm also on Facebook, Jamie Lee Animal Bonds.
You're everywhere. You're awesome.
Yes,
You're
I'm on LinkedIn,
everything, Instagram. You are everywhere, and it's great to talk to you today. Thank you so much, Jamie, for sharing. Awesome. I love these pets. Now I want to go out and go to the zoo, or see somewhere where I can go to the sanctuary and see the pets and be there.
Let me know.
I will. I will. I will. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great day, guys. Thank you for sharing today with us and allowing us to come to you for 1 hour every Thursday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard, and to share the Soulful Illumination show. We want to illuminate you at a soulful level and get you to be part of a wonderful collective consciousness. Have a great day. See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.